Hello and welcome to another Ark tutorial. Today we're going to talk about how to safely navigate caves in 2022 because a lot has changed in terms of strategy since my last caving video, at least for me. Before we do that though, I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, AdvancedGG. If you're looking to take your game to the next level, then you need to get your hands on a jar of Splitgate Rocket Pop by Advanced. Advanced loves giving stuff away, so 10 people can get $45 worth of tubs and shakers for absolutely free by using the code that's pinned in the comments. If you're not one of those 10 lucky people, they're also offering a 30% discount, which they honestly didn't have to do. Really dope of them. There's no better time to try Advanced than right now, so check the comments for details. Caves are one of the most challenging and unique parts of Ark, and you'll need to explore a whole bunch of them to get artifacts and great loot, which leads to an opportunity to beat bosses and get tech gear. Caves inherently come with various challenges like extreme temperatures, puzzles, parkour, and dangerous creatures, among other things. Knowing that, it's important to gear up properly for their unique dangers, because some of them should not be underestimated. So let's start with basic caves. What I mean by basic is that there are no environmental factors to overcome aside from dangerous creatures. Standard cave creatures consist of bats, snakes, arthropleura, spiders, and scorpions. While alone they don't pose much of a threat, that's rarely the case in caves and can quickly overpower an unprepared survivor. Because of the standard cave creatures, you'll have to prepare for getting knocked out, highly contagious mega rabies, loss of armor, and the obvious health drain. You can do some simple things to prevent or mitigate these effects. Use stimulant to keep yourself awake, use a lesser antidote to get rid of highly contagious mega rabies, bring backup armor for arthropleura spit, and keep medical brews with you to keep your health up. These 4 items will help you tremendously in caves, and to be fair, the lesser antidote isn't really a necessity. There's a 90-second timer on mega rabies, so as long as you're not still fighting, you should be able to survive it. Feel free to bring bug repellent as well to help you stay hidden throughout the cave. Although it's important to know what to expect in caves, none of this is helpful if you can't kill the creatures. Because of this, I recommend using Tames. Pretty much any creature that can take a bit of damage and deal a whole lot will work. So you can pick almost any aggressive creature to take with you. Baryonyx, Rexes, Wolves, Thylas, and even Gigas work sometimes depending on the cave. Hell, you could do a cave on a Wyvern if you wanted to, although that's a little risky since flyers can't fly in caves. If you do want to take a creature with you, definitely bring a cryopod because there are some areas that creatures simply can't fit, particularly big ones like Gigas and Rexes. You can cryo your tame and bring it through to the next more spacious area, but because creatures can't fit in some areas of caves, you'll definitely need to make sure you have weaponry with you. Shotguns, pistols, rifles, whatever you have will work as long as you have plenty of ammo and durability on it. You'll get good blueprints and gear from drops in caves, so don't worry too much about bringing primitive gear at the start. Killing creatures is great, but sometimes things happen and you die. Do not worry, death is a part of the learning curve in Ark, and you should accept it as something that can happen at any point. That being said, prepare for death. Put some sleeping bags outside the cave entrance so that if you do end up dying, you're not too far from your stuff. You can also put some backup gear in a chest by the sleeping bags if you so desire, although the sleeping bags alone tend to do the job for me. While you should always plan for death, I know a few mechanics that should keep you safe. Firstly, grappling hooks. Grappling hooks can't be used in all caves, but they can be used in most. They're a fantastic way to avoid creatures on the ground, and since you can use weapons while your grappling hook is attached, you can dispatch dozens of enemies from a safe distance. Make sure you're not leaving yourself a sitting duck for arthros and bats though. Another thing you'll definitely need no matter what cave you're in is parachutes. Matter of fact, you should have parachutes on you at all times no matter what you're doing, but they're particularly important for caves. I have a video on some great movement techniques for grapples and parachutes, but other than that, we've covered basic caves. So let's recap what you'll need. Stimulant, lesser antidotes, which are optional, backup armor, medical brews, tames, weaponry, sleeping bags, across both grappling hooks, and parachutes. This is the standard kit you'll need for almost every cave, so get yourself a loadout mannequin or storage chest specifically for it. Some caves have environmental dangers that you'll have to plan for. Caves can be excessively hot or cold, and I recommend using Rockwell recipes and different armors to deal with that. Bria curry is a great dish to help with a cold, and Kellyan soup is great for managing extreme heat. If you have access to it, I recommend using Wyvern milk for those particularly cold caves, since it provides 787 hypothermal insulation. Wyvern milk is fantastic for the Deathworm Queen in the Ice Cave on Ragnarok, or the Ice Titan in Jotunheim on Fjordur, which is arguably arguably the coldest area to ever exist in Ark. Some maps don't have wyverns, thus cutting off access to its warming abilities, but armors help with both heat and cold. Ghillie is the perfect choice for hot areas. Pair that with Callian soup and a bit of fortitude, and most hot caves won't pose any environmental threat. Likewise, fur armor with Freya Curry will do the job in most cold places, although you might need to wear an otter for the extra insulation depending on where you are. Cold caves tend to have special creatures too, like the polar bear, Purlovia, and Yeti, which are quite powerful. Purlovia are generally burrowed into the ground and nearly invisible and can dismount and stun you if you get attacked by them. It's pretty hard to not be attacked by Purlovia, but it's definitely something you should expect in cold caves. You can mitigate the damage by bringing a mount that's set on neutral or by having other survivors with you in the cave. Even these options sometimes still lead to death, so make sure to utilize all of the strategies we've talked about so far to prevent excessive losses. The only other thing I want to talk about is underwater caves, and since this video is already longer than I want it to be, let's just fly through it. You'll need your default kit, but now you'll also need some scuba to make it to the cave and some backup scuba to make it out of the cave. Bring a Baryonyx, Basilosaurus, Megalodon, or any other underwater creature to help navigate the cave. Some underwater caves move back to land halfway through, which makes the Baryonyx perfect since it's amphibious. You'll find all sorts of creatures that can stun you, dismount you, and quickly kill you and your tame, so you need to be super careful around anything that glows. Basilos are immune to electric attacks from eels and jellyfish, but can't fit into some cave entrances, so it's important to prepare for the worst possible outcome before diving in. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and sharing the video around to your friends that are struggling with caves. Also, please don't forget to check out AdvancedGG. There's more information in the description and in the comments. Thank you so much for your time today, and we'll see you in the next video.